Unless I miss my guess, most people would think that doubt is the opposite of faith. As I suggested yesterday, questions are a healthy part of the life of faith. Doubt, on the other hand, seems like something else altogether. But is it? Is there room for doubt in the life of faith? Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Let me begin with a question. What kind of faith is stronger? A faith in which you simply believe what someone else has told you, or a faith that you have wrestled with, struggled with? I think you know the answer. A strong faith is a faith that has wrestled with unanswered questions. A strong faith is often a faith that makes room for doubt. If this seems contradictory, let me see if I can help. Faith is by definition trust in things we cannot prove by ordinary means. If we could prove the faith by empirically verifiable means, the way we would prove ordinary physical phenomena, for example, then it wouldn't be called faith, would it? There are those souls who claim only to accept facts that can be proven, but even they have a faith of sorts, even if it is only faith in the ultimate trustworthiness of empiricism. There are also folks who simply are not the kinds of people to be reflective. They don't question most things, but simply take things as they come. I suppose you could say these are folks whose lives are lived comfortably by faith, but the majority of us are people who are somewhere in the middle. We're in the habit of questioning things. We question people. We question systems. We question institutions. We mostly have a healthy level of skepticism that calls us to ask questions and not simply accept things at face value. This kind of healthy skepticism is what I'll call doubt. There are a couple of passages in the Gospels that speak to this. The first concerns Thomas, one of Jesus' disciples, who was not in the room when Jesus first appeared to the rest of the disciples after his resurrection. When they told Thomas what they had seen, Thomas replied, "Unless I see the mark of the nails in his hand and put my finger in the mark of the nails and my hand in his side, I will not believe." That's where we pick up the story. A week later, his disciples were again in the house, and Thomas was with them. Although the doors were shut, Jesus came and stood among them and said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands. Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Do not doubt, but believe." Thomas answered him, "My Lord and my God." Jesus said to him, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have come to believe." So Thomas is used here as a sort of negative example, but his skepticism is all too human. Notice how his faith comes to completion after seeing the risen Christ. I think his doubt contributed to his confession of faith, "My Lord and my God." There's another story, this one in the Gospel of Mark, where a father comes to Jesus to ask Jesus to cast out a demon that had possessed his son. He says to Jesus, "From childhood, it has often cast him into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you are able to do anything, have pity on us and help us." Jesus responds with a retort, "If you are able, all things can be done for the one who believes." The father then cries out to Jesus words that many of us have prayed from time to time. "I believe, help my unbelief." Faith is almost always a mixture of trust and doubt, of belief and unbelief. Many of the great theologians over the centuries write of their own moments of doubt. St. John of the Cross, a 16th century Catholic priest and mystic, wrote a poem that has come to be known by the title "The Dark Night of the Soul." The brief poem speaks of those moments of doubt and struggle before faith finally reappears. Doubt is not so much a lack of faith as it is the struggle of the faithful. It is not, as many suppose, the opposite of faith. Indifference is the opposite of faith. Doubt, on the other hand, is what often spurs us on to think deeply about our faith. It is therefore an important part of the journey of faith for many, many people. So, if you have harbored doubts, rest assured you are in very, very good company. Now may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.